What is going up, everybody, and welcome to my second channel, and welcome to the Fortnite Season 1 POIs tier list. Now, I decided there is not enough people on the internet making tier lists, and specifically Fortnite and Minecraft tier lists, so I will be making my own tier list. But this will be a special tier list because this will be sort of a evolving tier list. We're starting right now with Season 1. Chapter 1 is Chapter 1. Fortnite, it's OG Fortnite. We're starting right now with Season 1 locations. And each new season, I will be updating the POIs and with the new ones of that season and deleting the ones that, you know, are gone that season. And maybe at the end, you know, of OG, of Chapter 1, well, in big theory, but maybe we will be able to sort of, based on the average ranking of the POIs, say which season has the best map of Chapter 1. It's definitely, you gotta understand, this is my subjective tier list. This is not like objective. I mean, it might be, but it's mine tier list. Okay, it's my tier list. So let's get into this. I want this video to be max 8 minutes long, so this might not be totally in-depth analysis. I will sort of just say my, you know, feelings and basically why I'm putting it in that tier. So we have all the POIs. There's 13 of them in Season 1. And we can start with Anarchy Acres. Now, Anarchy Acres are a tough one because the POI is very plain, first of all. Second of all, it's the second farm on the map. But I think what gives Anarchy Acres a higher spot on the list is that it was basically the second POI together with Moisty that got deleted after Dusty Depot, which makes it really OG. And I kind of like Anarchy more than Fatal just because, you know, it has that sort of OG feel to it. And also I like, you know, it's yellow around it on the map, so I like that more than Fatal. Just, you know, so I'll give Anarchy D tier. Okay, we also gotta, you know, I also gotta think about it in a way that I like all the POIs basically. I like every single one of them. This is, I'm really biased here, okay? But I'm trying to get, you know, which ones I like more than others, because F tier is not gonna be that I hate the POI or that is the worst POI ever. It's not. They're all great. They're all Chapter 1. They're all OG. I love them all, you know, but we gotta think of that. And this video is definitely not gonna be 8 minutes. That was completely, like, you know, bullshit. This video is not gonna be 8 minutes. But we can go on. Dusty Depot. That's a tough one. I'm making 100 drops on my main channel for Season 1 from Dusty Depot. Of course, it's already Season 2. And I haven't, you know, made it yet because I was sort of, I was behind on even before that. But I'm catching up. I'm almost done with it. So I'll sort of catch up, and then you know, I'll make the Season 200 drops, which will be tilted hopefully, and we'll be catched up, and I will make some other videos also then from Fortnite. But let's get back to the tier list. Dusty Depot is a tough one, but it's the oldest POI to ever get deleted. It's a very iconic POI, it's not a great POI for loot. It's not a great POI in terms of it's just not a great POI, okay? Overall, it's just 3 symmetrical hangars, but I think I gotta put it either in C tier or B tier. And I think I'll put it in C tier, actually. Now that I wanted to put it in B tier, but I sort of slid into the C tier. Now that I think about it more, I think it's C tier. I don't want to, you know, change it after I put it in there too much. I don't want to do that at all, actually. I want to just, you know, rank it and then leave it there. So actually, I think it's a C tier POI. It's, even though, yeah, it's really, like, the area is so iconic. It was in the game only for 3 seasons, but I think I think it's got to go in B tier, man. Okay, I'll put it in B tier. B tier. Let me look at the other POIs. Okay, no, it's C tier. It's gonna be C tier. I gotta think of it. As I said, all the POIs are, you know, I love them all. They're all OG. They're all, you know, maybe as we get more into the later, you know, seasons, like Season X, then I'll, you know, maybe hate some of them. But those are all such great POIs. So I gotta think of it that way. Next, Fatal Fields. Fatal Fields is a good POI. I think, you know, it's more in the center than Anarchy, but I always liked Anarchy more, actually. I feel like Fatal was always in a sort of like awkward position. You know, wherever you go from Fatal, you're pretty much, it's either, I mean, okay, this is season 1, but it'll stay. The POI will stay in it. So, you know, North, you get Salty, sort of, you know, always going to the circle, you go through Salty, which I think is like, that's really awkward. I mean, I guess for someone who doesn't, you know, really fear death, it's fine, but usually you don't want to go, you know, too much through those really high traffic areas. And but I think it's a pretty good POI. I think Fatal has to go into D tier with Anarchy, actually. I think that's fair, you know. I think that's fair. 2 farms, 2 good POIs. I like Anarchy more personally, but I'm trying to also be like objective within myself, you know. It's not objective, this is my tier list, but I'm trying to be objective in myself. So, I mean, with myself. So, it's gonna go in D tier. Then, Flush Factory. I like Flush Factory because it's crap. I mean, it's not really crap. I like how Flush Factory is that POI in this sort of awkward corner, you know, on the Fortnite map. I like Fatal, but I think Fatal's gotta go in E tier, probably. It's a, I mean, it's a cool POI, you know. I like the toilet theme, you know, skibbity before, you know. I mean, no, I'm not gonna, I already said it, but I didn't want to say that word anyway. No, forget that. It's a cool POI. It's sort of in this awkward corner of the map. You know, that area got deleted pretty early at the end of season 6. So it's fairly OG. I mean, yeah. And it's gotta go in E tier though. Like, it's this sort of awkward POI that no one really no one really likes Flush Factory, I think, but I like it. I like all of them. Now, Greasy Grove. Now this is a big one. Greasy Grove is a big one. It also got deleted with Flush Factory at the end of Season 6. Then continued being a frozen lake, but that, I mean, you know, we don't count that as Greasy Grove. I just count this original Greasy. And Greasy, like, that's a big one. Greasy might be A, actually. So, look, there are those sort of, you know, less traction POIs. You know, Dusty is like a mid attraction. That's the center of the map. But Anarchy, Flush, Fatal, also probably mid, but you know, you can also say that it's low traction. Moisty, and then you have, you know, Loot Lake still is not low traction probably, but it's like those sort of less landed to POIs. And then you have those larger cities in OG Fortnite. If you notice, let me think. Yeah, and then in later chapters, other POIs also got, you know, a lot of people. Like, the agency wasn't a city, Stark Industries wasn't really a city, but in OG Fortnite, most loot was concentrated in those, like, classic cities, those classic large cities. They were landed to by far the most. And those cities, I mean, not really a city, it's more like towns. But those places are like, those places are Greasy, like Pleasant, Retail, and Salty. So those are the 4 horsemen of Season 1. Greasy, Pleasant, Retail, Salty. And then, you know, Tilted joins them in Chapter 1. And I think that's really, like, that might be it, you know. That might be it, actually. So those are the 5. Yep, Paradise. Paradise joins them in Season 5, definitely. Then, not really, you know, then it changes to Neo, Tilted, and Mega Mall. But, so, it's those 6, you know, really. They were all on the map in Season 5 and 6, if I'm correct. So, Greasy, Pleasant, Retail, Salty, Tilted, Paradise. And they're really, like, those places are the most OG places, and they're also OG places that were landed to the most. And I really personally like Greasy. I think Greasy is amazing. I would put Greasy in A, personally. I think it's great. And I think also it's great because I guess from Greasy you can go directly to Tilted, then in Season 2 and on. But you can also just go, you know, wherever. And I mean, again, it's a repeating theme, but the fact that it got deleted at the end of Season 6, and then it was just this sort of, like, you know, frozen lake. Same Flush Factory was just like this top. You could see this top above the snow, and that was it. And I think Chapter 1 was awesome with this. You could really see the map progression in Chapter 1. Chapter 1 was amazing. I will be doing probably a tier list of chapters soon, the 5 chapters. So, just so you know, Chapter 1 will be A tier, for sure. Chapter 1 will be A tier. Chapter 1's map progression is absolute A tier. Not so much in the later chapters. Chapter 1 was amazing. I think Greasy is an iconic POI. I just love the feel of it. It has this great feel. It's just the feel is really important, and Greasy has a great feel. Next, Lonely Lodge. It's either F or E tier. It's either F or E tier. And I think it's I don't know, I'll think about it. I think if Lonely was like Dusty, you know, if it got removed after season 3 or, you know, really early, it would have been like such a remembered on POI sort of, in the sense that it's forgotten. You know, it would get forgotten and then people would remember on it like this is the most forgotten POI. But since Lonely was there the entire chapter 1, I don't think it has this privilege like Anarchy and maybe, you know, Flush and Greasy. It really doesn't. And I think I liked Lonely when I mean, not liked. I mean, yeah, I liked Lonely when I was a child and I played chapter 1. I think I didn't love Lonely, but I think I liked Lonely. I loved Junk Junction. That was my place. Junk Junction was probably my most dropped place in chapter 1 ever. I dropped Junk Junction the entire chapter 1. You know, I wasn't recording at the time. I don't have any footage. I'm really sad. I don't have footage from like my first win or something. That would be great. But I don't. But I actually didn't drop Junk Junction in my first win. My second win I did. Anyway, back to Lonely. I think I tolerated it back in chapter 1, but the more I think about it, it's really down there with Flush in terms of, you know, the overall POI quality. So I think it's really in between for me. I gotta choose. And I think I'll choose E tier. It has this advantage that it's right next to Retail. And it's right next to Wailing. I think that area is like is pretty cool. That area is nice. Like, yeah, when I played Dusty Depot and I had to rotate to either side in season 1, I was most happy when I rotated towards Tomato Town, Wailing, Anarchy, and I guess you can also count Lonely Lodge, even though there's Retail in between. But this sort of area is I like that area, so I will put it in E tier. I will give it the benefit of the doubt that I don't know, you know, if it's E or F tier. I'll put it in E tier. Loot Lake, F tier. We don't have to talk about it. That's the only POI I hate. I love to hate it. Yeah, I like that it's on the map. I like that it's in the middle, but I hate it. It's terrible. Moisty Mire. Moisty Mire is either E or F tier, once again. And I think I'll put it in F tier. I just did 10 drops to Moisty Mire. I wanted to do them fully in season 1, but I kind of, you know, I didn't make it. And so there's 5 drops in season 1 and there's 5 drops in season 2, which is cool, you know, in those 10 drops. That's cool, I guess. But as I said, I like all of those POIs. And that doesn't mean that it's... The fact that I did 10 drops to it doesn't mean that it's good. Also, I hate... It's the same problem as with Loot Lake, basically. But I like the POI. I like it. But I like all of them. I like that it got deleted in season 4, but that just doesn't help it in this, you know. And it's really OG. It's really OG. like the Moisty Mire area with the old racetrack is really cool. I like that area. But I like most Chapter 1 map areas. So, again, that's the problem I'm dealing with here in this tier list. But I think it's F tier. It might be peeking into the E tier. It might be just slightly worse than Lonely, but I'll put it in F tier. Pleasant Park. Pleasant Park. I think Pleasant Park is really overhyped. You know, the way Greasy has this distinct layout, and it's like really, it's really fun to fight in. I think Greasy, it's really fun to fight in. Pleasant Park, not so much. I mean, it's really, it doesn't have like a soul, I think, for me. Pleasant Park doesn't have a soul. It was there the entirety of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, which is a problem. That's a big problem, you know. The layout is so simple. It's not like Dusty. Dusty is fine. Like, Dusty is iconic. Pleasant Park is so big, but the layout is so simple. And there's so much open space in Pleasant. It just doesn't make it such a good POI. You know, in Pleasant, you might land and never even like see the guy that landed on the other side. I mean, I guess that can happen in Greasy too, theoretically, but it's like Pleasant is in a different league in this. So it's not A tier for me. But I don't think I'll put it in C tier. I don't think I will. I think I'll put it in B tier. It's a lot of people drop here. I don't like it that much. I would love to do 100 drops to Greasy. Maybe I will. I mean, this is my strategy for making 100 drops in OG that I like kind of made for myself. Season 1 is Dusty because it's the first POI to get removed. And I also want to do in Season X Dusty Depot 2 because you know, I think it would be cool if I made a Dusty Depot 100 drops in Season 1 and then, you know, make a Dusty Depot comeback 100 drops in Season X after it comes back with the meteor, and the whole map around it's changed to make a Dusty Depot 2. I think that's gonna be cool. Even though you might think it's a dumb idea to make 200 drops of the same POI when I only get 10 seasons, I think that's fucking cool. Then in Season 2 I want to do Tilted because it's Tilted and, you know, it's added in Season 2. Season 3 I'm not sure. Season 4 Dusty Divot, definitely. It's this iconic crater. It's a new POI again. Season 5 probably, like, maybe I won't make every season 800 drops. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But if I did in Season 5, I'd probably do like Paradise. But, you know, maybe. Definitely Season 6. Floating Island. For sure. 100 drops. Definitely Season 7. Frosty Flights. 100 drops. Season 8. Not sure. Season 9. Probably Neo Tilted. Again, it's, you know, it's new. It's Tilted. I'll probably do that. And Season X, Dusty Depot. Greasy Grove doesn't really fit in that. But I'm really, like, I really want to make the 100 drops to Greasy. That's the difference for me. From A tier and B tier. Like, probably. That's how I, you know, make it. Like, I will probably make sure to make that 100 drops even though, you know, it doesn't really fit in this tactic that I have for making 100 drops. And I just spoiled basically all the videos I'll probably do. But I don't really care, like, you know. This is gonna get like 5 views, this video. I would love it to get more. But I'm also a realist, so there's that. So that's B tier. We now have all tiers covered, so I'm glad I made 6 tiers. I was thinking of only making A, B, C, D, F. I'm glad I made the E tier. Now, retail row. This is gonna be tough. Retail and salty are for me both between A and B tier. They're not exactly as A tier as greasy for me. But I would sort of like to put one of them in A tier and one of them B tier. But I don't think that's possible, really. They both survive the entire chapter. They both extend into chapter 2 and survive the entire chapter 2. No, salty doesn't. Sorry. I just got... Okay, salty doesn't. Retail does. Salty doesn't. It survives until season 4 only, actually. Then it becomes Salty Towers, Bony Burbs. Yeah, and ends with Bony Burbs, I think. But, anyway. For me, retail is B tier. I don't necessarily like hate it out of those 4. I think retail is better than pleasant. Should I switch it like this? Should I like make the distinction? Should I basically rank it? Because I feel like people will definitely people do that, right? That they rank, like they basically switch it like this in between, because, you know, if retail is better than pleasant, it's gonna be higher on, like, it's gonna be like this in the B tier. I should do that. I will do that at the end. I will do it at the end. I will basically rank it, but now we're just sticking to the tiers. For me, it's B tier, retail. Yeah, it's like, there's the iconic markets area, and then there's the houses area. I think retail's location is pretty solid on the map. You know, sort of next to Dusty Divot or Dusty Depot right now, and factories. You know, Lonely behind it, Wailing above it. Pretty center, I would say, but not exactly center. For me, retail is B tier with pleasant. Now, salty. Salty is a special POI. Salty is probably the most iconic Fortnite POI ever. No, it's actually no. Tilted is definitely number 1. But Salty is like a definite number 2 in POI popularity of Fortnite history. I don't think there's a more popular POI, not counting Tilted, instead of Salty. But as I said, it's my list. I don't think I will put Salty on A tier. I think I'll put it on B tier with retail and pleasant. Salty is sort of high B tier. It's like in between. I think I'll put Salty right here, retail pleasant, when I will rank it at the end. That's what I'll do, but it's A tier. It's B tier. Last 2, Tomato Town and Wailing Woods. Tomato Town is a special POI. I think it might be the smallest ever in terms of chests and even size. It might be the smallest POI ever in the history of Fortnite. I mean, it might be. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure there's only 2 or 3 chests. I think I have this number that it's 3. Sorry, my camera just turned off because I had low memory. I didn't think I would spend almost 30 minutes talking about chapter 1 POIs, but I am, which is cool. So we have the last 2 POIs here. Yeah, I don't know where I really cut off. I think it was yeah, Tomato is, I think it only has like 2 or 3 chests. I think 3 is the exact number. I'm not sure though. I think it's 3. It's the same as Dusty. Dusty also only has 3 chests. But Tomato is not as iconic as Dusty, but it did get removed in the middle of Season 5, which makes it even more OG than Flush. Actually, wait. It makes it even more OG than Loot Lake. Yeah. Loot Lake was, you know, removed. Not removed, but it rose up at the end of Season 5. I mean, start of Season 6. The same thing. So, Tomato is even more OG than that. It basically came after Moisty and Anarchy. It's the smallest POI ever, I think. And for me, it's sort of low D tier. It's sort of below Anarchy and Fatal. For me. I guess it could be C tier with Dusty, but I think it's worse than Dusty. I think it's like, it's a really cool POI to drop to, like as a joke, you know. If a squad landed Tomato, I don't think like 2 of them would even have guns, basically. That's the reality of Tomato Town. Dusty has a lot of floor loot, you know. Still not good for squads. Duos is I think the limit, but for Tomato even duos is a stretch. But in solos, it's not that bad. I think it has a cool location, really cool location between Wailing. You can go to Wailing, or you can go to Dusty, or Anarchy, and then it sort of changes to Lazy Links and Dusty Divot, which is cool too. That's cool too. I think, and Risky. I think it has a really cool location between really cool POIs. And it's just really, it's adorable. Tomato is adorable. I don't think it's E tier. I don't think it's F tier. It's a low D tier for me. And the last POI, Wailing Woods. I think Wailing is not F tier. Wailing is good. I think I'll put Wailing. I don't think it's really C tier. I think it's high D tier. I think Wailing is above Anarchy, maybe, but it's high D tier. Tomato is low D tier. Wailing is high D tier. Wailing is a cool POI. It's like every. For me, forests are so cool. Like, it's just such cool POIs. Not the modern ones, not the Chapter 6 ones. If there was a forest in Chapter 3, I think I would like it. But Chapter 6 map is garbage. The Chapter 6 map is the worst chapter map ever. But Wailing and Weeping Woods are super cool POIs. I love them. And you can get a lot of wood there, which is a compliment. That's good. So Wailing is a cool POI. I love the sort of distancing from others. Like, no one is... In Wailing, no one sort of lands around it, even because there's like a bunch of forest in between Wailing and the rest of the map. So when you land Wailing before Risky, some people definitely land Risky every single game, probably. But if you landed Wailing before Risky was added, some games the closest player could have been in like Dusty, because no one would land Tomato, Lonely, and like or Retail. You know, that's far away. I love this distancing. Like, I love it. You feel alone a lot in Fortnite, but that's good. When 100 players land on a map and you feel alone, that's good. For me, that's a cool feeling. Now, to rank those POIs, this is gonna be easy. This is just gonna be swish swish, and it'll be done. Salty, high tier. Pleasant, low B tier. Dusty only in C tier. Wailing is high D tier. This stays, I think. This stays the same. Flush is better than Lonely for me. And Loot Lake is worse than Moisty. It's definitely worse. So, this is my final Season 1 tier list. Season 1 POIs tier list. I will continue this in Season 2. I will probably do the video soon, because I don't want to be making it at the end of the season like this. This was just... I got the idea a few... let's say a week back. I just didn't do it yet. But I probably will do it in like a week or two. The Season 2 POIs list. And then I will start making it... then I will start making it like at the beginning of the season, respectively. But yes, this is the final tier list. I hope you enjoyed this video. I probably said a lot, actually. It wasn't really that in depth, but I just said how I felt about the POI, which is good. I wanted to do that. I really underestimated the time it would take, but I'm fine with that. I had a good time, actually. Maybe I will just do the chapters tier list now. Maybe. But yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. This was my first video with a camera on. I hope the camera was good. I hope it worked, actually. Is it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, anyway, have a good one.